We call to order the meeting of the Select Board, September 7, 2022. Can you stand for the pledge? Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, start off with some warrants like usual. In front of me I have the general fund warrant dated September 2nd, 2022, in the amount of $215,362.40. The big ticket items on here are the nonprofits that we donate. We call it donate, I guess we donated. Taxpayers donate, there's multiple on here. So if anybody wants to make a motion to approve this general fund warrant.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Brian, you have the payroll warrants there?
I do have the payroll warrants. So two payroll warrants, one for August 19th, 2022, in the amount of $27,668.86. Second one, which includes the regular agency checks, dated August 26th, 2022. That one's in the amount of $41,953.39. Looking through, they all look pretty normal. So I'd make a motion that we pass these two payroll warrants as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Hey, Brendan, you have infrastructure development,
Oh,
stormwater.
I've got infrastructure development, impact fees, stone house, and stormwater. Let's knock them all out. Easiest one is a stormwater utility warrant. It's only got one invoice for $2,000, and it's our annual contribution to the Friends of Northern Lake Champlain. So I'll make a motion we approve the September 7th, 2022 stormwater utility warrant in the amount of $2,000.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
The Stonehouse warrant dated September 7th, 2022 in the amount of $2,099.69. You've got 5 invoices there, all under $1,000, all related to Bay Park events. And there's a little bit of office supplies there. So I'll make a motion to approve that warrant.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Right. Then we have an impact fee warrant, only one invoice. It's to the St. Albans Free Library, and it's in the amount of $45,000. Those were all impact fee monies that have accrued over the years that haven't been asked for. We had a discussion with the library, facilitated by the town manager, and this $45,000 makes up part of their roughly $160,000 a year contribution from the town for this fiscal year. So impact fee warrant, September 7th, 2022, $45,000. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so infrastructure development, or local option tax reserve, all related to the town hall. Most of it's related to this well issue we've been working on, but not all of it. So it's the infrastructure development warrant, September 7th, 2022, $10,787.72. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're done with the warrants.
Excuse me, who seconded that? Was that Jack?
Jack.
Yep.
Yes, it was Jack.
If you get off your bike, you could hear it.
Okay, in front of you, you have the minutes of August 15th, 2022. Anybody want to make a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Okay, any further discussion? Or no, I need a second on that.
Second.
I wasn't here, so.
Brendan seconded.
Okay, any
Was
further?
I here for that?
Yeah, you were.
You were, I wasn't.
Yeah, it was the special meeting, sorry.
Oh, special.
No, it wasn't, it was the last, wasn't
Maybe it was a special-
Last regular meeting.
it? Yeah, it was last regular.
The last regular
The
meeting, I
15th.
wasn't. I don't think I made that.
I think it was just the three of us, right?
Correct.
Here.
So
So-
I can't second that.
Brian,
I'll second
Okay,
second, the August 15th meeting.
perfect. Any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Aye. Okay, moving forward, we're on to public comment. Anybody in the audience or on Zoom have a public comment? Okay, hearing none, we're gonna move right on here. So in your packet, you have the Unified Development Bylaws that are the updated version, what's that, 21 days from our last meeting we had to,
We just had to have another meeting, and once they're approved tonight, I think they're
then they're in
formal
effect.
21 days from now.
21 days,
You just
okay.
need a
But they're
motion.
still in effect from today, right? As soon
I
as
think
you
they're
sign.
actually in effect 21 days from now, but either way, it's,
Okay,
I think in the interim, usually they have to look at both sets to make sure they comply, but
okay.
That's a
Perfect.
good idea, yeah, if you don't get your approval before the new sets it up.
Okay.
So make a motion, we approve the latest draft of the new unified development bylaws.
Anybody want to second that motion?
it. I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And with all the stormwater stuff, I would
As
just
you can
say,
see, it says that they're effective 21 days after adoption on the front page.
oh, it does, on the signature page.
Yeah.
That is in, probably in
Yeah, we got it right.
green folder. Good job.
so like,
Okay, yeah.
if we start having issues related to the new stormwater language, we'll just make corrections to the bylaws, that's the way we left it, right? We're gonna get it implemented, see if we have any hiccups from it, and fix it if we need to. That
So
was it.
accept.
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less.
Right.
Yeah, so if like Megan notices a repetitive issue or even an only, can be cool to hear about it, that's all.
Good enough. Okay, moving on, number 6, the VLCT annual business meeting. Carrie, I believe you attended. Did you attend it last year too?
I do, I have been for a long time attending, I go because I'm part of the VLCT Employee Resource Board anyway.
So
But also there's a town fair where they get together and talk about policy. 2 or
is
3
that in
hours.
person? Has
It
been
is
in
this year in
It is
person.
right. Okay.
I will make a, if you don't mind me cutting it short, Chair, I will make a motion to,
Well, then, unless anybody wants to go.
if they wanna go, she can still be the voting delegate.
Okay.
Oh, that's
If
true,
you wanna
yeah.
join
You
Carrie
can
and go,
go.
that's fine.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion that,
driving,
what's that?
Did you drive?
she drives.
What's the date, Carrie?
It is October, I think it's the 6th and 7th. I usually go down for the 6th because there's a verb meeting, but then we present the rest of it to VLCT on that afternoon.
Killington's, yeah, Killington.
It's in Killington this year, yeah.
I'll make a motion, we, authorize Carrie Johnson to be the town of St. Albans voting delegate to the VLCT 2022 town fair.
Perfect. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second that.
Perfect. Any further discussion? Nope. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along here. Conflicts of interest and ethical conduct policies in your packet. This was separated out from our personnel policy, what was noted that we should by VLC.
Right, they recommended that
VLCT
change.
separated out and recommended that. So, everybody's seen it in their packet. Anybody have any questions, concerns?
I just, a couple of typos and one question. There's a couple spots where it's just missing a comma, the word is instead of in. I can let you know, Carrie, what those are.
That would be
Just
fabulous.
grammatical. No, my other question, and it's probably something that's highly unlikely, but I wasn't sure if I was able to answer it here. It's possible, I mean, Jeff and I were talking earlier, it's amazing how sometimes you don't realize the circles you might be connected in. It's possible that 2 select board members or 2 members on any board could have a conflict of interest, right? There'd be 3 people left over. Now normally, correct me if I'm wrong, but if there's 3 people left over, in order to pass something, you need a 3-0 vote.
You need a quorum of the board to approve it,
So,
yeah.
so what would happen if 2 people
Instead,
had a conflict of interest and it was 2 to 1? Is it just,
instead,
it's just
Yeah,
nothing?
it would,
There's
yeah.
nothing to pass. What if it's a hearing where you need to answer yes or no?
If it doesn't go forward, then there are alternates on the DRB. I think that would probably be your most likely case of having conflicts, but, so they're voting alternates that could be called in to make a quorum if a member were otherwise recused.
It's rare,
It's
I
very
suspect, but-
Yeah.
Not a bad question, but yeah.
Well, I was thinking of, not too long ago at a BCA meeting, right, there were, 2 or 3 JPs who claimed a conflict of interest and sat down. We had barely a majority left
That was
to
me.
have a quorum. It could have been really easy not to
Mhm.
have, so what do you do if someone comes to,
But
You
did,
don't have a
You
quorum.
Didn't-
reschedule it.
is that the only?
Yeah.
Try to get
answer?
more.
You
Joe,
reschedule
But I mean, what
it
if you
or-
had so many conflicts of, and like I said, maybe it's unlikely, maybe
Say,
I'm asking.
what if you can't get a quorum?
And you keep rescheduling it, write really nice letters.
Well, a quorum, like, I think Brian's saying it, how many
It
BCA?
would be impossible to have a quorum if you
Yeah,
had too
you-
many people.
Yeah,
that had
say like,
conflict.
say someone comes in and they're friends with over half of the BCA.
Well, your BCA is made up of the select board and 15 justices. So you really should
Hopefully,
be able to
yeah.
get a quorum.
Well, it's probably more likely just on a smaller board, like the select board, it's possible. I was just curious.
Right.
So if that's the answer, then that's what it is by statute. That's
but
what
one
it is.
person said at that meeting, Brian, that you can't vote yourself out of a quorum. Like, I don't even think you can hold a vote if you don't
Have a quorum.
have
You
the
don't have a
quorum,
Exactly.
like, right?
I don't even think you can hear anything.
You can't, you apologize to the folks and you
And you
reschedule.
reschedule, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm saying select board would be it's probably not in the case right now, it'd be very easy to have 2 people who are related be on the board. And something comes up with one of their spouses, for example, now you have 2 that are off, 3 people left.
Chair votes.
Yeah, but I think like, so like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but most of like personnel or stuff like that is all carries. Like, I don't think we ever, I don't know, like stuff like that doesn't come in front of us anyway. So I don't think we'd be voting on,
Oh, yeah, I didn't mean personnel, but.
or personnel or like town, like any, you know
We're
what I mean?
gonna-
Like
We're not
that's,
voting on a project.
You need to
so-
buy a property and one of them's owned by the spouse of the
If you
spouse.
buy a property, it's going to voters anyway.
yeah, so I guess that's the coverage there, right?
Maybe we're all set, but I'm just,
You just-
Yeah. No, it's a
in that
good
case, you
point.
could disclose your conflict and just vote to put it on the ballot. I mean, it's not a-
but in that case, it would be, just, the answer is by statute, nothing happens.
Well, it's Robert's rules,
No
right?
action can be taken.
If you don't have a quorum or in the affirmative, you have nothing. Quorum doesn't change even if the voting faction of the board gets smaller by recusals. So do we wanna approve this policy pending Brian's
Well, I
typos?
think that's, if it's by statute, there's nothing we could add to this.
No, I'm just saying, like, you had a couple of typos, do we wanna
Oh,
approve this as amended?
The typos can
I
be
mean, I can
changed.
say, the 2 I saw were just in,
Yeah, you can
Article 4A, number 1. It says child, stepchild, right in the middle, there should be a comma between. And later on, it says,
Started really digging into
or
that stuff, don't
before the public body is.
I'm not a grammar guy.
Yeah. Well,
He's impressed with your editing.
10 years as a teacher, you know,
About
reading
that,
it, and you just
yeah.
caught it.
you? Look at the first page and the last.
Can I see that second one you mentioned, cause I
Yeah,
missed
just-
the directions, okay.
There might be more, I tried to tell
Does
myself.
anybody else have anything for it?
Yes.
I'm good,
So-
that was my only concern.
Okay, perfect.
Make a motion to approve this policy as amended.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 8, town manager, take it away, Carrie.
All right, Andy Crossman, no one else is here, right? Andy's our trail steward, so we're gonna wait a bit, I know he was intending to come tonight, told us he was.
Probably got lost.
Could be.
Hopefully not, but Andy's a retired, project manager of sorts, so he's
Probably up
been
down
appointed
Forest, can't find his way out.
Fire department needs a helicopter.
He's been appointed our trail steward, which means he's gonna be the point person for any concerns people have with him, and he's been organizing a few work parties, which is great, gets up to 30 people sometimes that go up, work on opening them back up. Takes a cuts trees down when needed. He's the current mountain bike president.
Really good guy.
He is, his heart's in the right place. He obviously cares about the mountain bike trails, but also is gonna work on a work party for the walking trails, some of the 2 miles we expanded last year. So in your packet was his presentation, but I'll wait to see if he shows up, and if not, we can, there's no time, it's not time sensitive, he can show up for the next meeting too.
Is, can we make sure we post this on the town website?
What,
Yeah,
the
this looks
presentation?
Well, no, well, yeah, but when he wants the work crew, or is it like
Yeah.
looking for
Help
volunteers?
broadcast it. I would share that all over.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask a question, when I was looking at it, the second thing has signage and stuff, and it says who, Andy, $380, is he paying for that out of his pocket? Is that what that
No, we have a budget for the trail steward. In a couple years, it's, when we were starting to get things organized, it took a lot of work, so we paid this trail steward all of that budget.
Oh, that's who the money is.
Andy doesn't wanna take that, he wants to take a small stipend and use the rest towards things like that.
That's awesome.
You know, food for the work group, signs maybe, that kind of stuff.
Well, it does say, if you read the thing Brian's talking about here, the list of expenditures, it does seem to look like Andy's the one paying that $380.
Maybe he is paying that, but he wanted to use some of the money.
So he's paying that out of his stipend, you're saying?
That's what that was what I was intending. I don't know if he has a different intent here, but
He would
we
probably
can ask
pay
him
it.
about it.
It was just listed, I wasn't sure what that was.
Yeah. We have $5,000 on that line.
Yep.
I think it's well spent. We had,
Yeah, it's all right there, Gary.
yeah, I see
It
that.
says,
I don't know, certainly looks
okay,
like
I'm just
that.
curious.
Hate to see the guy working so hard for the public and
Yeah.
going into his pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys do. So anyway, we'll move on to the next one. Virtual roundtable, there's a flyer in, that's as it relates to local cannabis control commission. So as the flyer you saw that was created for us as a real big quick snapshot, can't say it, on what your roles and responsibilities would be. I mean, they boiled it down to 2 pages. I'm sure there's a lot more involved, but it will operate very much like the Liquor Control Board. It could. You could choose not to become the CCC or Cannabis Control Commission, but I think what I saw in there and what I've heard is they're advising you to,
So it's gonna be us?
they're advising if you want a little bit more local control, that the legislative body, the select board, could be the the Cannabis Control
So
Commission.
we just need to do it. Does VLCT or the state have a draft resolution that we could tweak and pass?
Right, I mean, that's part of the next steps, right, if you were supported that, Al was gonna go to the regional planning meeting they're having on that, this week.
Oh, cool.
To get a little more information, I just kinda wanted you informed that you probably will need to sign that resolution, so if you have questions ahead of time, forward them to us.
When do we think we'll see licenses start to
October, right?
Yeah,
Should-
well,
October 1st, do
do we have an applicant in the town?
we do,
We're gonna have to do a site visit. We always did them on liquor control.
right,
back in the
yeah,
day,
of course, yeah, business only.
Okay.
But, so, just much like the Liquor Control Board, I imagine you'll be asked to approve those, although there's only one.
And then we'll send them off to the board.
Is it, do we know, is it limited to one in the town, or
I
is
thought
it?
it was,
I thought so too.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like alcohol, same deal. It'd be just like the alcohol. So
except there's a lot more
The liquor
established.
store is.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the state will control inventories, if I had to guess. They'll set the price, it'll be the same no matter what store you walk in. Everyone who works in the store will probably have to get some type of a state mandated training offered by the state cannabis control board. It'll be a whole thing.
Simple, very simple.
Yeah,
And the
it might
state-
be, it's probably gonna be even more intense.
Mhm.
I would think.
The state's still gonna be involved, much like the Liquor Control, State Liquor Control Board, it's not as if you're the only board.
If you can end up one of the 3 members of the cannabis control board statewide, that's like a 3 or a 6-year gubernatorial appointment, and it pays like $90,000 or $130,000 or
No,
for crazy money.
no,
Yeah,
where do I sign up? I got time,
You got time.
go to the governor's office and knock on his door and ask him.
call Tate.
anyway, no action on that one needed today, just a heads up that we're doing some investigating, having questions for them to us, Al and I.
I guess my only question would be like, where is the licensee going to open a store? And you
Yeah.
don't have to disclose that publicly now if it's not necessarily something that the store owner would want to disclose.
Yeah, I don't think they're through the permit process yet.
Okay. Okay.
So C on our agenda was new town hall update. We were here just last week for an update with Emily and Dave Chevalier to talk about the water situation. Today's subject, the reason it was put on here was just to update people who didn't watch our other meeting yet, that we are going back to using the well on site. Oh, there's Andy Cross. So we're proposing to use the well, treat it, we're getting the parts needed to do it because this was not only the most direct path forward, but ended up being the least expensive option as opposed to what we thought previously would be the least expensive and most simple way to get water to the town.
Any word on the RO, whether we get it ordered, do you?
I have not heard. We'll be right with you, Andy. No, I haven't heard. I know Dave said he was gonna go back and look for one, but he did not confirm whether he found one or not. Yet.
So are they doing any work inside? Have they started any of the plumbing?
Not yet, no, because Dave Chevalier is gonna get some of that work done. I mean, we approved this on Thursday. There's more of a ramp up time to get people actually to show up, on site with the parts, but I know that they were scrambling to get all the things we needed. And I did ask DEW to take management of inside and outside, just so they could coordinate it, because we're not gonna have, a plumber and electrician working on 80% of it inside and then hire somebody different on the outside. It's gonna be the same person who knows the building on the inside. But there's just a few connections to be made outside to that storage. Yes, more to come, but it's a daily follow-up.
So on one of the emails I got there, Emily had a whole list of stuff for DPW to do.
Mm-hmm.
Is she on them, or is Corey doing that?
Corey's doing that. I talk to him almost daily. Right now, they're edging roads as soon as they could get to them after it was paved, because our paving is now done. Emily did you got the summary in the back, but for paving, she had all the slips at the end of the day and analyzed each road that was done, how much was put down, how it was put down. It was probably the most in-depth analysis we ever have had done on
Went
the
around,
paving.
looked at a few of them, they
Yeah.
did a nice job.
She did a great job, and then put together that summary showing us where we should end up when they bill it all out. So,
Any word on her mower?
no, there's been no word on the mower yet.
I wonder if I should take a road trip up there and see what's going on.
Might not be a bad idea.
Yeah,
at
it's
the
not a
time.
horrible idea. It's a bit. Where was it again?
Craftsbury.
Crafts.
Can we get him the thing for his, to put on his car that says Town of St. Albans official business?
Yeah.
I don't know how he drives. We'll have to
We
wait
have
and see.
magnets.
I'll put one of my campaign signs on the grill.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Might
No,
not
I'm gonna
make
be,
it to
I gotta go
Craftsbury.
up to Barton next week, so I can swing, come
Absolutely.
back that way if I can get
Yep.
an address of the guy's place. Maybe surprise him.
There was in an email. I think his address is on the invoice, or the estimate. To answer your questions. Okay. The last item on here, just Act 250 notice for Water's Edge, a couple different things, no motion, or no motions needed on that one. We just copy one.
Cool to see one in the industrial park though for FCATC.
Yes.
FCATC, so I know that Tim Smith said there's a lot of interest. And it's cool to see something, we've seen things move through the permitting process and not come to fruition.
That's true.
Of course, that happens all the time, in every community you're in, but cool to see. Cool to see the industrial park, the next phase on an Act 250 docket.
What about the pump out on the north end? Has that been installed or is that not here yet?
That was supposed to arrive any day now, it's not installed yet. We asked, we did order it a little
Yeah.
bit ago,
I
yep.
know it was way back last spring that we met with
Mm-hmm,
the guys.
absolutely true, yep.
I thought it was supposed to be done by now.
It was supposed to arrive around the 1st of September. I mean, today's the 7th, so it should follow up, you're right, but we haven't gotten it yet, sadly. Yep. So Andy Crossman is here on Zoom. Can you hear us?
Yep, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. Yep, thanks.
Okay.
So they have your presentation. I
Okay.
did a short introduction, so I'm gonna let you go with it.
All right. Thanks so much. Thanks for the opportunity to talk about this really great asset that the town owns and has developed over time. Just quickly, I outlined sort of a plan, and I was looking at the master plan, which was developed back in 2015. And has been a great tool for us. It continues to be. I think we've executed, Carrie, probably, I don't know, 70 or 80% of it. And there were still some sections left, but I think we've overall accomplished pretty significant amount of the plan. So that was kudos to staying with the plan and using it as sort of an ongoing vision. I mentioned about key partners. I think that there needs to be ongoing dialogue with those partners. And there are a lot of different users. We've seen pretty significant uptake in usage of the trails. I've seen a couple of you up on the trails and using those. So I think people are really enjoying them. Particularly the newer ones that were built with more modern techniques, water management, have held up exceptionally well. And the bridging has provided access that we did not have before. So I think that's been a key aspect. One of the things I'd like to do, if taking on this trail steward, is doing a more formal annual assessment of the both the physical and the kind of management of the town forest. So, includes things like signage, which we know we have improvements to make, parking, trailhead, neighbor interaction, and just trying to avoid degradation of the trail. So really kind of keeping them up. I think one thing we've all learned is that, it's not just about building trails, it's about maintaining. You have to maintain them and keep them up to date. If you have a tree come down and you don't clear it, people will start walking around it. Soon you have what we call braiding, which is really not something that we want. And I think we've been maintaining the trails. I'm involved with the mountain bike club, but we have probably done about 90% of the light maintenance, trail clearing when we have blowdown. But the town staff has helped when we've had several significant trees come down that we just couldn't handle. But for the most part, we've been able to manage that. The other part I think that we haven't really fully taken advantage of, and really because of COVID, we couldn't, but now I think the opportunity is there to do more community outreach and awareness of this asset that we have. And I've spoken with Nancy Pack. She's very supportive of what we've done. And, I think years ago, she was really feeling that was an underappreciated kind of lesser known asset that the town had, and now feels it's really kind of hitting its stride. She's offered to do like workshops. We did one several years ago, Carrie, when we did the opening of the new trails, and she's offered to do like naturalist type of program. We've done some mountain bike group rides, but also for snowshoeing and hiking there. So I think also leveraging that town and the school particularly, how can we better expose our kids to it, teach them about maintaining trails and the forest and everything that's there. Part of the future vision that I wanted to talk to you about was to ultimately connect the town forest via Ridgeline Trail down to the Missisquoi Valley Rail Trail at the Sheldon Crossing. And this would be pretty significant link between sort of huge recreation assets, especially with the new rail trail coming in, but there's already existing parking there. And those of you are aware of that Sheldon Crossing. And there are several private landowners that would need to agree to all this. So there's a lot of work to be done, but it's very possible. I've had several people have a lot of expertise in those that know the landowners. So, you know, we're kind of in the early stages, but you know, I think that this basically what could happen is you could park down at the Sheldon Crossing and then hike up the ridgeline up to the town forest and then back or bike it. Also, you would connect by the rail trail. And Carrie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's still a plan that the town had to connect Hardack to the rail trail. Is that correct?
There is an informal, that is on a list, but it's informal at this point.
Yeah. But that would link, so you'd essentially be linking like Hardack via the rail trail to the town forest, which I think would be phenomenal. We do find that people say it's kind of, you know, they love going up there, but it's kind of small and you know, it a little bit, I think doing this would be expanding our recreation draw and usage by the community there. So I should stop there and just ask if there's any questions about that vision or suggestions or.
All right. Just Nancy Patch, for those of you who don't know, is the county forester.
Yeah. Yeah. And she was very involved with the initial plan, and I've kept her engaged, and I just met with her a couple days ago. She feels quite strongly that we do have, you know, the opportunity to do this ridgeline. We're going to have to build. There's a corner, the northwestern corner of the forest does not have anything there really, and so we would build a loop up there this next year. That would basically be the jumping point. It would be phase 1 of the Ridgeline Trail. So you would go out from there to that ridgeline. And I'd like to talk a little bit more about that as well.
You had
First want to talk about the bigger vision and your thoughts.
Have you reached out to the school about using that for field trips and stuff?
I have through the Tech Center Outdoor Education, and they're looking for projects to do and work to do. So, you know, where we could use them, but I think particularly the middle school,
Right.
The town middle school would be, you know, it's just a great asset up there. And, you know, I think we would want to help give them some tools to do that, but it's definitely possible.
I know when we first started work up there quite a while ago, man, I don't know, it be 10 or 15 years, we had it logged, and then
Yeah.
the trails were kind of made by the skidder. And part of the plan was that the town elementary school would you know, that's one reason we made the parking lot the way it was, that they could take a bus up there and kids could go hiking with, you know, as like a class or something, do nature stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they're aware of how much improvements have been made up there since the early days or not.
I'm not sure you've reached out to them recently, but we have been, like Andy's talking about, we have been in contact with the Tech Center for the past 4 years now, so that we could get regular and predictable people up there.
Mike started that.
Who?
Mike Kane.
Mike Kane was on our committee and he helped get that
Yeah.
going. Yep, that's great.
Yeah. Mike was kind of mentoring me, and we were actually talking before he passed away, unfortunately. We were talking about linking to schools and, you know, bringing them up there and exposing them. That's something I'm willing to do, to help coordinate with them. I guess maybe Carrie, I could talk to you offline about who to contact at the school and stuff about that.
Yep.
It's gonna mention, Andy, thanks for the work you're doing, obviously. I was thinking too, that the recreation department, because they've got a built-in contact system, right? They can reach out to a lot of people if there's a program up there of some sort. I mean, I don't know anything, use some words, I don't know much about ornithology and stuff like that. I know they do a lot of those programs at Hardak, but I bet a lot of the people who go back would love to have a different place to go check out. The recreation department just does a nice job of putting a program together, getting it out to 1,000 different families in the area, who already are engaged with recreation. Just a way to get folks up that way. And I'm thinking with schools, I don't know, art classes, right? We need people to help work on them, but art classes to go up there, something to amuse or whatever. Science classes, things like that.
Yeah.
Just some ideas.
The biggest issue is by the time you bus a group of kids up there and get them back to school, you've got like 30 minutes of instruction time.
Well,
So you have to make it a
rearrange
full.
your schedule.
Get faster
Take
buses.
The whole afternoon.
Oh, you're gonna, that's what made a lot of sense if you had,
Just an idea.
2-3
Or
hour.
like a weekend field or a Saturday field trip or something.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, it's been up there, it's a wonderful resource.
High
just,
school could assign it as a
ways of getting it out to more people, that's all.
Yeah. Can go back to his house.
Even that's good.
So
Go ahead.
I mean, that's something I can work on. The second page, I won't go through that. Those were just more items that were left from the master plan, frankly. And some of those could be done, let's say, over the next 2 years. Some of them can be done with just volunteer work parties, which I've organized a couple of them up there and would like to do more with that through the town. So, I think that we've had a lot of success with getting people to volunteer, helping with that. So I put together an estimated cost, I would say over 2 years, about $7,000, and you already budget money, which we haven't spent any of this year, Carrie, I believe, so.
That's correct. They did have one question for me before you hopped on, for signage. Were you proposing to pay for signage yourself? It says Andy 380.
No, I would say, I'm saying that I would take responsibility for ordering
Okay.
it
Very good.
and then getting it up there, but it's more like, and like Brendan, you've been up there, it's kind of easy to get lost still. There's not like a lot of directional signs and back to the parking lot, just basic stuff.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of the signage that we were working on was like hand drawn, laminated, and stapled on grade stakes. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
cool.
we need to
We just
do
wanted
that.
to make sure you weren't paying for anything yourself, along with good work.
No, I'm not worried about that. But I wasn't actually worried. I wasn't aware that you had a budget for doing work up there. So we've been kind of like scraping up resources and contributing from our mountain bike club and wherever we could get it. But that's great that you do that.
Have a budget, you might as well dip into it.
Yep, good job.
Somebody else will grab it.
Everybody else does. Yeah.
And while we're on that topic, so my proposal on the future vision, not asking for any money for that Ridgeline Trail, but I would like to, since you're at budget season, from what I'm understanding, we would like to construct another trail that would be in that upper loop in the upper corner. I wish I had, if I was here in person, I'd show you. I've got a big kind of poster that shows it, but I don't know if you can see this, but up in this corner right up here, we would put in a 1.7 mile trail, and that will be the connector to the future Ridgeline Trail.
It's gotta go up a little bit.
What's that?
Cover your face. There you go.
Okay.
That's a little better. You're talking, so the up part of the hill is towards the sign here. This is the lower part of the hill where you can't really see that yellow trail, but there's a bunch of yellow trails at the bottom, closer to Larry Bruce's property. Okay.
That upper corner is the highest elevation in the town forest. So it gains a couple hundred feet from where we have trails now. So it makes it, I think, at least for mountain biking, it's going to be really incredible. And I've asked for 2 estimates by the end of September. I have sort of a ballpark guess what it is. I've already got I think $9,000 in grant money that I can get toward that. I'm thinking the cost is maybe 25, and that's because you're bringing a machine in to do part of it, which is what we did with the other trails, the upper loops. So it'd be very similar to that. So I'd like to, if you would consider it, put a budget in for next year toward that. And I'm thinking, I don't know what's the right number, but I think that we're going to have other sources of funding that we can get from area businesses, like the Rotary and others have said they want to contribute, and some area businesses like the bike shop and Subaru and others. So, I think if we were to put 20,000 in, that would be more than enough, I think, and then it would be complemented by these other sources of money. But I would be able to leverage more grant money if we had some town money there going toward that. And that would be, I would see that as the first phase toward the bigger, the Ridgeline one going down, which would be about 4 miles. It would be about 4 miles long, actually.
So that Ridgeline, there's at least 3 big maple operations up there you'd have to go through, right?
Yeah, we're very aware of that. A lot of actually a lot of trails work with the sugar makers, and they do there's techniques for kind of raising the lines during the riding season, and actually doing what they call landowner appreciation, where they do projects for the sugar makers, or even like buying them a vacuum pump or whatever. So there's a lot of precedent for how others have done that.
All right, so I guess we'll consider it asked. Do you want to review the trail assessment thing, or was that just for reference?
That was just for reference, but just to know that there is a formal assessment, and I would report back to you on sort of what the condition is. And it's not just the physical condition, but also like, how is it being utilized? Are there problems with our landowner, our adjacent landowners, or that kind of thing? So I would be doing check-ins with some of the other users as well.
And what's the frequency? Do you want to come to the board maybe in the spring every year and fall?
I think spring is the best time, because we can kind of set our plan for the year. We can't really get in there until after it dries up some, but having a plan going in would be ideal.
Can I ask one more favor, Andy? At some point, certainly not right now, could you be able to send a map of where the Ridgeline Trail and then the connecting?
Sure. Yep.
I'm looking at Google Earth, I'm just trying to see, but if you could send that just at some point, it certainly doesn't have to be now.
Yeah, absolutely. I have that, so I'll send it to Carrie. And just keep in mind that the route is adjusted based on the geography and terrain and the landowners and all that. So
Yeah.
Yep, sounds good.
I'm gonna have to go into it being flexible, but I think the vision is kind of exciting and would be I think the community would really get behind it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Andy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
All right, thanks. Bye.
And I don't have any, I talked about the paving completion already, so other than executive session items, I don't have anything else.
Perfect. Scheduled next select board meeting is Monday, September 19th, and Monday, October 3rd, starting at 6:30 p.m. Anybody have any other business? Okay, hearing none. Anybody want to make a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second. Now. Okay, so is your motion, Jack, just to clarify, to also invite the town manager and interim director of operations?
Yeah,
Okay,
didn't I say that?
yep, I thought so.
Okay.
So,
All,
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
all right.
And we're done.
Thank you. Good night, guys.
Thanks, Jen.
Bye.